Hello, I'm David.
Hi, I'm Julie.
So now we're going to do a review of Gargoyles Awakening,
Ooh.
which is based on the animated show in the 90s. So I hope you've checked out our How to Play and Playthrough. Now, I'm really recommending you do. I'm not just saying that to get views, okay? But on the How to Play, I really go over things that are at issue with this rule book, all right? And it will help you navigate some things that you can miss or make it more difficult than necessary. So that's going to be part of the review here. So this is a tactical miniature game. It's for 2 to 5 players, ages 10 and up. And I'll explain what you're going to do. You're going to pick a scenario. There's 4 scenarios. Here's the 3 we did not play. One of them is a 1 versus all. So it's like a game master. We haven't played that one. We have played 3 of the 4 where it's cooperative. The scenario that we played is the second one, because the second one we lost the first time we played. We won the second time we played, and you're going to see that we played it twice on camera. And why am I pointing that out? Because the first time we lost on the first turn. That's how quickly we lost.
We did.
We restarted it. We were doing really good.
Yeah.
But you're going to see in my review here, you're going to be so precise that we probably could have won if we remembered to do something.
Yeah, I forgot.
I forgot too. So, all right, so it's a tactical miniature game. So in this particular scenario, if you know the series, you can have Xanatos being the bad guy. In fact, in the first scenario, Xanatos and Demona are in there.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Second scenario, it's Demona and something called the Enslaved. I've only seen clips of the series. I don't know the series that well. And then in the third scenario, it's Xanatos, and I don't know exactly what's in the fourth scenario. But you'll see here that in the second scenario, we had some bikers that we had to worry about.
Yep.
Demona, we did defeat the Enslaved. You had to get the book from her,
Yep.
which we managed to do, and defeat the Enslaved before we can damage her. In fact, we got her down from 10 health
Yeah, we really did well.
to 4 health. And we got close, except the bikers
Beat me up.
beat up Alyssa, which Julie was playing. And so if anybody gets down to 0 health, you lose. So it's a typical miniature type of game where you have so many actions. You can, for instance, my character here, I have 4 actions. I can move 3 spaces with an action, or I can glide 5. That's what the buildings are for. The buildings allow you to move around really fast. The buildings don't block line of sight, or they don't block line of sight, which you would expect in other games.
Yeah, you would.
And I have a 2 attack, so it's basic. If you roll these, you do damage. Sometimes you got to get these special symbols. Each character has special abilities, and each character has their own deck. So here's the characters we did not play. There's 4 here, and you come out with these nice miniatures here.
Yeah.
And so, for instance, I'm doing this for those who know the series. There's Broadway, Hudson, Brooklyn, Goliath. Okay, you can see they all have different stats. Some of them attack more. Some of them have more health, like 9. Okay?
Yeah, that's a good one.
But there's also different decks for each scenario. So here's the deck for the third scenario. This is I don't know if that's the first but there's different decks. What am I trying to say here? So you also have to worry about daytime and nighttime. So that's cool. So as the game progresses, the heroes go. So the heroes have to get their actions, like this is moving, attacking, playing cards. And the cards will have, you usually get 3 actions per character. And the card will tell you if it costs you 1 to play that card or 2. But you don't have to play the cards. You can just do a basic move, attack, or glide.
Oops.
What's I trying to say? So that's what the heroes are doing. The hero phase is you're moving, attacking, trying to pick up stuff, defeat enemies. Then the villains go, they draw a card. You carry out the actions on the card, and if it has a moon on it, and 4 moons are revealed, and on the heroes phase, after the hero phase goes, if there are 4 moon cards, it's daytime. And so that's when the heroes can heal, but so will the
bad guy.
The bad guy. So on this daytime, Xanatos would heal 3, and different things can happen during the daytime. and then these cards will be shuffled back in, and then it'll be nighttime again. So there is different phases of nighttime and daytime. And so it's actually very simple on the surface. Heroes go, villain draw a card that directs villain actions, and then the heroes draw up to 3 cards, unless there's something special they can have more than 3. And you have icons for movement, gliding, attacking, and then there's an icon for range, and you have some special abilities here. So scenario-driven, cooperative, it's very tactical miniature combat game. So let's take a look now.
Let's see what we said. Our
review.
comments, yeah.
So
I get to go first, as always.
I have to get this on here.
Oh.
There it goes. All right. Here we go.
Okay. All right. I thought the components were okay. You know, the little, what do you call them?
Miniatures?
Miniatures.
The gargoyles?
Yeah, you know, they're good. You know, it's just, I don't know.
Well, they're better than the first Horrified. They're decent detail that somebody will want to paint this. They're not as detailed as other companies, but they're decent. Okay. Anyway.
Okay. It does play well with 2 players, which is nice because I like cooperative games, and I like it with 2 players. It actually is not long of a game, and you'll really see that in our how to play and play through, because it ended really fast.
Even the second time we played didn't
Even
take
the
that long.
second time.
Yeah.
An adult, unless the child's really skillful, will need to put this stuff together. I personally would not want to put it together, and I am an adult, only because I have shaky hands and everything. But you have to, like, you know, put things together, like the pictures show there, and it's, I don't know, could be tricky.
You can see how it's numbered.
Right. And then my last comment is I actually didn't find it very exciting to play. And I don't know, I think it's just because I'm not really interested in it.
Well, you have played other tactical miniature
I
games.
have, but
It's
this
not
one-
something that you pick, though.
No.
So when we play these types of games, Julie will play like Yoda in Star Wars miniatures. Or if we played Mythic Pantheon, or we played Joan of Arc.
Yeah, for some reason I find those to be more exciting than this one.
So
Maybe because I don't know the show. I don't know, but I don't know the shows of Mythic. What is
Mythic
it called?
Pantheon is, remember, is the Greek gods game.
Oh,
so
yeah.
you just know the Greek gods.
I know Greek gods.
Joan of Arc takes place in the Middle Ages, so you have context of the Middle
Right,
Ages.
but this stuff
In Star Wars, you know Star Wars.
Oh yeah, well Yoda rocks. So I don't know. To me, it just wasn't that much fun. But other people who, especially if you know the cartoon, you might really like this a lot, and I think that's great if you do. Just for me personally, it was kind of like, you know.
Well, I'm just glad we pointed out that you'd rather play those other games over
Yes,
this.
I would.
So Julie doesn't choose those games normally, but she'd rather choose those games over this. So that's why she's saying it's not that exciting.
Yeah, I think the other ones are much more intense, and you're like,
Well, in fact, you've played Conan. Would you play Conan over this?
yes.
Okay. We haven't played Batman yet, so we're going to be playing that soon.
Oh, okay.
So you might like that better. In fact, we even have the Walking Dead miniature game we haven't played yet.
Ah, well, there you go.
So we might be playing that. But so that tells you that all the other games, she'd rather play over that.
Definitely.
Even though that's not her go-to games
No.
type of game, she will play them. But this one,
But I just wanted to let you guys know, I probably wouldn't suggest it though either. If David said, hey, you want to play this? I'd be like, yeah, sure. But I wouldn't be like, hey, let's play Conan the Barbarian.
But if I said you want to play it, you'd be like, okay. So if I were to say, would you rather play Conan or Gargoyles, what would you say?
Conan.
Yeah, exactly. Would you rather play Star Wars or Gargoyles?
Star Wars, because I get to be Yoda.
Yeah, see? So there you go. All right. So, like I said, Julie is not the most experienced miniature player,
No.
but it tells you right there that this game's not doing it for her.
No.
All right, I have a lot to say.
Wow, you do. Holy Toledo mosquito.
So, I do recommend it as an introductory tactical miniature combat game for young people. When our boys were younger, this would be great to play with them.
Yeah.
But remember, they were playing Star Wars at age 5 and 7.
Right. They might like that better than this, too.
They probably would like Star Wars better than this.
Yeah.
But so it may disappoint experienced players because there's not a lot going on here. Like I mentioned, I referenced this. The buildings do not block movement. They cost more, They allow you to move faster if you're gliding, if you're a gargoyle. If you're Alyssa, you don't get to use gliding movement. But they don't block line of sight. So Alyssa could be standing right here and fire at this biker through the building on the other side. Doesn't make sense. I understand why they did that, because they wanted to make it simple. But that's one reason why experienced miniature players be like, I don't care for that.
Yeah.
All right, so it's decent to quality components. Yes, the miniatures are much better. Ravensburger is getting better at producing miniatures. In fact, Horrified are better now, the miniatures in Horrified. But the cards are just typical card stocks. So that's why I say average. They're not that great. And the board is, this is actually it's a much better board. Usually they have this type of board is more difficult to produce, where it's even here. Where in the Horrified boards, it has like a little valley here going down the middle, remember?
Oh, yeah. Okay,
so the board is better. This is good cardboard. These fit together well, although you do have to be careful when you punch them out. I had to repair this right here. It's fine now, but when you punch them out, some of these pieces, if you're not careful, can bend. So
that's why I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, you definitely need. And that's one of my points is you need adults to help you put it together. And
but I am an adult and I still wouldn't do it.
Right. So which means that a child can have a lot of difficulty with it, since even like you said, some adults wouldn't want it to put it together either. Okay, so maybe swingy, maybe too difficult. So it's a cooperative game. Pandemic's a cooperative game. But Pandemic, you can scale it. You can play really easy or very difficult. When you watch our Pandemic video, we played the most difficult setting and won.
Yeah.
We also got lucky. This game, we weren't doing anything wrong when we first played it. We drew the wrong cards and rolled badly and lost the first turn.
Yep.
Pandemic, that won't happen.
No.
Okay. The way the game is set up, you draw so many cards,
right.
then things happen as the deck goes down. There is no way to manage that. And we could have won the second time if we were precise, if we would have done the right things, which we had to remember to do. So what do you think a young person would do? You think a young person would remember that?
No.
Probably not, unless an adult's helping them.
Right.
And then if an adult's helping them, who's playing the game then?
Yeah.
The adult's playing the game.
Exactly.
So I have as a neutral because I don't mind difficult games, but I am concerned that this might be some scenarios. Like the third scenario, we played it once. We didn't want to play it again because it was so difficult. You're moving around data discs, you got to push them around, and you're getting you're getting all the bad guys appearing. The first one's really easy to teach you the game. So I am concerned that it's too swingy. It requires adult assembly, that's a minus. And you got to disassemble it to store it. So let's take a look at how that would happen here. So I'm going to open up the box.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
And you can see how narrow this is.
Yeah.
Okay. Now watch what happens. If I put this building, okay, it's not going to fit.
Oh heck no.
I have to take it apart. And so you think I'm going to want to put this together again to play it? You got to be really in the mood, and then probably keep it put together for a while and play a bunch of scenarios. But maybe. So this is going to disappoint me to want to pull it off the shelf if I got to put it together now.
Right.
So it's going to hit the table even
less
now.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes sense.
All right. There's only 4 scenarios, so there might not be enough game here, especially if you're playing scenarios that are swingy and you lose. And you're like, how many times am I going to play before the game feel like the game is beating me up?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, again, you might like a challenge. But is it really challenging when you got to get lucky?
No.
No, it's not. So lack of context if you're not a fan. So why should I care? I have not seen a full episode of Gargoyles. I have seen maybe at most 10 minutes in my life of clips. They don't give you any background information here for these scenarios. I don't even know who Damonis is. I don't know who Xanatos is. Why should I care?
Why should you care?
Now, some would say that, all you need is this little intro, what it's about. But if they would just give me just a couple paragraphs to set the stage,
that would be nice.
Maybe I'd care a little bit more.
Yeah.
So
but you don't really care because you don't know who this Lexington is, or even Elisa. You don't know what her story is, why she's hanging around with these guys.
So here's the opposite argument. Only people who are into the game are going to care. I mean, into the series is going to care, right?
Yeah.
Well, as a publisher, do you really want that? Do you want to sell a game that only the most rabid fans are going to buy? Or do you want a game that people like us who never watched the show would want to buy and play because it's a good game?
Right.
We bought it because it's part of that sale that Target has.
Yeah.
And if the boys were younger, we'd be playing this with them.
So we're going to save it for when we have grandchildren.
We're going to
someday.
save it for grandchildren, or if someone comes along and says, hey, I really want to try that game.
Yeah, then we'll play it then.
But in retrospect, I probably wouldn't have bought this.
No.
We probably wouldn't have bought it. So that you're going to see in our rating, I recommend you play someone else's copy.
Definitely.
And if you're a super fan, yeah, go for it. Get it. You're probably going to enjoy it more than us. But if you've never seen the series, you're on the fence, play someone else's copy.
I agree.
So one last thing. As some of you know, my dissertation is on how to write rule books. This rule book is at, there's different levels. Pleasurable to read, annoying, and frustrating. This is on that cusp of being annoying and frustrating. Because there are issues with it. And I go over it in the how to play video. So I really recommend you watch the how to play video, if you're gonna, especially if you're confused on what's going on. So first off, it doesn't even tell you what's what here. And you'll see in the how to play video, I point out that there's things that you needed to know when setting up the game that they don't have a component list here that shows you what's what. There's information that's buried in weird places. And then this is what's really going to throw people off. You have to look at the scenario text here and on here at the same time. So you'd think that this reference card would be all you need to know how to play, right? No, you got to look in the rule book too. So why even have this?
Yeah.
You might as well just have this.
Yeah.
So, but some people won't realize that, and then there are some typos as well. So it's at best annoying because it also doesn't include enough examples. Something that it takes for granted is that it really doesn't point out explicitly that all characters have a basic attack of 1 range unless you're Alyssa or you have a range attack of 3. Mm-hmm. You should have that on the card.
Yeah, I agree.
And so it's kind of buried in there. That kind of takes for granted. And that's like one of the things you're going to do the most often is attack.
Right.
Okay? So.
Let's see how we rated it on the BGG.
Enough of my complaining.
Let's see how we rated on the BGG.
Let's see how we rated it.
Thing.
So here we go. So you would take it or leave it as a 5.
Pretty much.
Which means, in retrospect, it probably wasn't worth buying, right? Mm. For me, I will play it in the mood because I don't mind difficult games. There's some good things about it. It's good for children. If I want to introduce a miniature game to children, and again, we'll keep it for our grandchildren. But like you, if I would have played someone else's copy, I would have been like, I'll pass.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
And then I would have tried to get it used. But here's the thing: if it becomes a collectible, you might not be able to get it used later. Because some people might be like, who are like rabid fans and they love it and they want and only. But how many rabid fans are there of Gargoyles? I don't know.
I don't know.
So that's why I say on the bottom, unless a super fan, play someone else's copy first.
I agree.
Well.
Phew, that was a lot we said.
Yes, it is, but that's why we go into all this detail.
Yes.
If you own a copy of this and you're going to play the second scenario, or just haven't played it yet, I really recommend. I've said it 3 times now. I normally don't say that.
Yeah.
Watch the how to play video because it will save you
a lot of time.
It will help you play it correctly, which means you'll be more successful, and it's
Sure.
already swinging enough. And 2, could avoid a lot of frustration if you didn't do your PhD in how to write rule books, because
Not many people.
I notice a lot. I notice different things. Anyway. So thanks for watching.
Thank you so much for watching, and we hope you helped you decide one way or another. And we'll see you next time.
Yes, and please remember to subscribe and like.
Yes. See you guys later.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.